Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Clémence, aka Cinema Vlogs, and today I'm going to present to you all the books I've read since the beginning of the year. I have around 14 books, I think. So yeah, I'm going to present them all to you, and I really hope that you will enjoy this video. I started the year by reading Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I must say that this is now my new favorite series. I am obsessed with the characters and the whole book, actually, the whole story, the universe and everything, and I just cannot stop thinking about it even months later. So yeah, I read Once Upon a Broken Heart. For me, it was like a 5-star. I absolutely loved it. I had to buy the second one right after, which is The Ballad of Never After. I read it like maybe 2 weeks later because I really hesitated to buy it as it is not in the same format. As you can see, they don't have the same size. So yeah, I bought it like 2 weeks later and read it in only a few days. I absolutely loved it. I actually loved The Ballad of Never After more than Once Upon a Broken Heart, and the ending of this book was so heart-wrenching that I cannot wait for A Curse for True Love, so the last book of the series, to come out in October, I think. So yeah, I'm really excited to read the third book. This was for me a great way to start the year, as this is now my new favorite series. I'm just completely obsessed with it, and I cannot stop thinking about Evangeline and Jax. Yeah, they really are my new favorite characters, and cannot wait for October. Then, still in January, because I was really obsessed with Stephanie Garber's writing and I wanted to know more about the universe that Evangeline lives in, I decided to buy this box set of Caraval that I never read before. I heard that it was really great as well. It was set before Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I bought it, and I think I read the 3 books in maybe max 2 weeks. I was obsessed with them and could not put the books down, so yeah, I just really loved it. For me, I must say that Caraval was really great, and Finale was as well. They were 5 stars for me, but my favorite out of all 3 was Legendary. I absolutely loved it. The story between Dante and Donatella, I really like to follow their story, and yeah, I just liked it even better than Julian and Scarlet, was it, I think, in the first book. And yeah, I think Legendary was my absolute favorite, so this series was like a 5 stars a whole for me, but my absolute favorite was Legendary. If I could give 6 stars out of 5, this would be for this one. And if you want to get into fantasy, maybe I would really recommend you to read this series. It is really easy to read, it is really magical, and I absolutely loved it. And if you're wondering whether you should read Once Upon a Broken Heart first or Caraval, it honestly doesn't really matter. Personally, I read Once Upon a Broken Heart first, even though it is set after Caraval. And you just have like a slight spoiler of the end of Finale in Once Upon a Broken Heart, but it is still okay to read first. But if you want to read the series in order, I would say that you must read these 3 first, and then you can go and read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Then after that, I started the second semester of university, so I didn't read as much as I did in January. So I took a 2-month break from reading and started reading again in March with the Shadow Me series by Tahereh Mafi. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her name right, but yeah, I started in March and ended in May, I think. And yeah, I read the 6 main books of the series. I didn't read the novellas, and I haven't yet. But I really like the series as a whole. I made a whole video dedicated to the Shadow Me series where I review every single book, so I will just link it at the end of the video if you want to see it. And yeah, I just really like the series. For me, it was like 4.5 stars as a whole, because I like some books more than others. Some were just not that entertaining, but just for Warner and Juliet and the whole universe, and how some of the books were just so amazing and I couldn't put them down. I think this series deserves a 4.5 for me, and yeah, I would totally recommend reading it. I hadn't read any dystopian novels in a while. Last time I read a dystopian novel was Divergence, that you can see here, that I read a few years ago. But yeah, so I was really happy to get into dystopian novels again and reach out to me. So if you want to get into dystopian novels yourself, or at least start reading them again, I would totally recommend you the Shadow Me series. Because, yeah, I just really like them. It was really entertaining, and if you want to know more about what I thought about each book separately, you can just watch my Shadow Me review video, where you will have just a more complete review of every single book of the series. In March, I read another fantasy book, which was Twin Crowns. I had wanted to read this book since it came out last year, but finally picked it up. So it is, yeah, Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber, or Weber, I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I read Twin Crowns. I haven't read the sequel yet. That came out maybe 2 months ago, I think. So I still have to, but yeah, I really liked it. For me, this book was a 4 stars, and it was great. It was like a dual point of view. So you had this is a book about 2 sisters, so you had the point of view of each sisters, and it was like alternating between chapters, which I usually don't really like, and once again didn't like in this book, because I was caught up in one like one chapter and one point of view of the sisters, but then you would go to the other sister's point of view in the next chapter, and I felt disappointed every single time that a chapter ended, and be left on basically a cliffhanger every single time, and you would just have to wait 1 or 2 chapters to know what's happening next for one sister, and I did not really like that. So for me, it was a 4 stars instead of 5 stars, and I really hope the second book will be a bit better. But it was still a great book and really easy to read, fantasy, and yeah, I would still recommend it, even though it was not the best fantasy novel for me. But yeah, that was Twin Crowns. And then finally, after I took like a 2 weeks or 3 weeks gap at the end of May, beginning of June, after I finished the Shadow Me series, I decided to finally pick up a new series, which is ACOTAR. I've wanted to read this book for a while as well, and finally decided to pick it up after seeing so many reels and TikToks about it. And yeah, it just convinced me to finally pick up this book. So I read ACOTAR in June, and then I read A Court of Mist and Fury right after. I finished it last week, I think, and now I am currently reading the third book, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm almost at the half of it. Absolutely love these books. For me, the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, was from 4 stars. As I didn't like it as much as the other ones, especially I didn't really like the character of Tamlin. So yeah, it was a 4 stars for me, but then I read A Court of Mist and Fury, and this one was a 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. The whole universe, the magical powers, Rhysand, and yeah, just the whole story. I was so caught up in it and could not put the book down. And now the same is happening with A Court of Mist and Fury. So this is a 5 star. I think A Court of Wings and Ruin will be as well. And I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. As I heard, the last book for now, which is A Court of Silver Flames, is from the point of view of another character, and I cannot wait to read that book as well, as it seems really interesting. So yeah, this is my goal for the summer, to finish reading the whole A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I will post at some point in maybe August or September my review of the whole series. And yeah, for now I'm just cannot wait to continue reading ACOWAR, so the third book in the series. And yeah, that was the last book that I've read since the beginning of the year, which is I think 14 books, and now I'm reading the 15th one, which is good because I set myself a goal of 20 books this year. Maybe it will be 25, but yeah, so for now I am still able to reach this goal, and yeah, I cannot wait to see how many books, and especially fantasy books, I will read before the end of the year. So yeah, that was the last book in this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and comments down below which series you would like me to read. If you have any series similar to ACOTAR, if you have any series similar to ACOTAR, maybe I would love to hear your suggestions. And maybe tell me which book that is coming out this year you cannot wait for. For me, it is definitely A Curse for True Love. And yeah, I cannot wait to see all your suggestions in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe to not miss any of my content. And I will see you next time. Bye!